Hi, everybody. I'm Kirsten, and you're in my kitchen with me so I can show you how I make a chickpea flour vegan egg bite in a pressure cooker. So, to make these bites, the first thing you're going to need is some egg bite molds. I have two different kinds here. This one is an Instant Pot brand, and it came with a little lid, holds 7. This one is from Amazon, Aozita. Also comes with a lid, and this one also came with a little scooper to help me lift out my egg bites. But they both work really well. So you need an egg bite mold. Could you make this in like a ramekin, one of these? Sure, you could. It really wouldn't be an egg bite. It would be an mini egg souffle. But you know, you don't need to buy an egg bite mold if you just want to try the recipe in a small container. Anything oven safe will go in your Instant Pot or other pressure cooker. So you need the mold. And then for the recipe, you'll need almond milk. I have not tried this with oat milk, soy milk, pea milk, but I think it would work. Any kind of plant-based milk should be fine. You're going to need some chickpea flour and egg replacer. I am using Bob's Red Mill brand for both of these, but you do you. And then you need nutritional yeast. I get this in the bulk section at my co-op. It's a tasty flake. It is not the same kind of yeast that you use in bread. So nutritional yeast. You'll need coconut oil or another cooking oil. Today, I'm going to be using some olive oil and probably also some vegetable oil to grease my molds. Okay. You will also need some salt. You will need some turmeric. And then to flavor these egg bites, today we're going to use some roasted red pepper and parsley. But any kind of cooked vegetable you could use. I've got some leftover beets in here, and beets would probably be a good combination in this. Potatoes, broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, but any kind of leftover roasted vegetables would go great in this. You'll need about a half a cup. Okay. And we'll need one more thing. We'll need a rack. This is the rack that came with my Instant Pot. Since I'm going to be making a double recipe today, I'm using my other racks, which are a little fancier, but the one that came with the machine will work just fine. You just need something to keep the silicone mold off the bottom of your machine. And I also need an immersion blender. You could use a regular blender for this if you wanted. Also, where's the stick part? You know? Stick it at the very back. Oops. Okay. I'm going to use an immersion blender. You could mix this in a blender. You could mix this and then pour it in a bowl. I'm going to be mixing the whole thing up in a 4-cup measuring cup with a pouring spout, so then I can just pour it all in when I'm ready. But that's all you need, and let's get started. I've sprayed the interior of these molds with a little bit of vegetable oil spray, and I'm going to mix this up. I've got my almond milk in here, and I'm going to go ahead and add my chickpea flour to this. I wonder if I should have used my 8-cup. Well, we'll see. And then, in addition to the chickpea flour, I need to add the egg replacer. Normally, I just use some ground flax seeds for egg replacer. Keep a bag in my freezer. And that is, I think, about 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed and 2 tablespoons of water. Do 1 egg, but don't quote me on that. Might be 3 and 3. But that is that if you need egg for like a cake or something. I wouldn't do ground black seed for scrambled eggs or anything. But as a binder for a cake, it works just a treat. Where'd you go? There you are. All right, you guys out of the way. And a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Put that in there. And we've got a dog. Robert Barker has joined the kitchen. Robert, there is nothing in here. Yeah, there is nothing in here that has any animal products. So I don't know that you're going to like it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, you might not like it. What I'll do over here. So there's plenty of room. Okay. Coconut oil or other cooking oil. I'm going to use olive oil today. And grapeseed oil, avocado oil would all work great with this. And then we need some salt. And turmeric. And I bet you the turmeric is more for the look of it than for anything else. This is a recipe by Coco Morante from her book, The Essential Vegan Instant Pot, one of the books that was quarantined with me for several months. And she has never steered me wrong. She is one of a handful of recipe writers who never steered me wrong. Bruce Weinstein and Mark Scarborough, that couple writes a lot of recipe books. They have never steered me wrong. Urvashi Pitre, the Two Sleevers, never steered me wrong. There are several cookbook authors that I just know that they've done a good job with their cookbooks. Also, places like America's Test Kitchen, Martha Stewart, Better Homes and Gardens, all great cookbooks to use. All right, so I'm going to blend up the almond flour, almond milk, chickpea flour, egg replacer, nutritional yeast, olive oil, salt, and turmeric with my immersion blender. And give it a scrape. And get back at it. Okay. Now this is blended. I'm going to give it about a 10-minute rest to allow the flour to fully hydrate in the almond milk and everything kind of come together. And I'm going to transfer it to this measuring cup so it'll help me to pour. All right. See you back here in 10. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. The batter has had a nice little rest. So I'm going to go ahead and stir in the roasted red pepper and the parsley and then pour them into the mold. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras so I can show you more accurately with chop cam. Boom, there we go. So I've got my rested batter and my sprayed egg mold. And now let me drop in the chopped roasted red pepper. And parsley. And you guys all go over here. We'll give that a stir. And then you want to fill these egg molds about a quarter 3/4 of a cup full, which is about 1/4 of a cup of batter. I'll kind of go around and do an initial fill, and then I'll kind of top it off afterwards. And these molds came with lids, but I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper on top of them just to help the condensation from getting too in the way. All right, a little bit room over here for you, more for you, you. And over here, one more piece of roasted red pepper. All right. Now, I am gonna throw you in, get you out of the way. I'm gonna cover this with a piece of parchment paper, and if you crumple your parchment paper, it's easier to use than if you leave it smooth. And now I'm gonna put it on my rack. Okay. And then this is ready to go into the pressure cooker. Okay, now I'm going to repeat that whole process. This time I'm going to make a batch of egg bites that have some roasted potato and roasted sweet potato added to them. So I'll switch cameras and then I'll speed this part up so you can see the same thing a second time. Okay. So we've got our 2 egg bite molds and we've got our racks. The thing that I'm missing is I need to add water to the pressure cooker. So cup of water, in that goes. And because I'm doubling the recipe, good question would be, do I need to make this, do I need to do anything with cooking time? Nope. Same amount of water to create steam, same amount of cooking time. The thing when you're doubling recipes in a pressure cooker that matters is the thickness of the thing you're cooking. So because even though I'm doubling the recipe, the size of the egg bites is still the same thickness, still the same cooking time for that. Get that in. Put you up. There's still plenty of room for air circulation in between these. So tuck this all down. I'm going to pop it up, put it in. And I'm going to close and lock the lid and set the cooking time to steam up for 10 minutes. Steam is a setting, it's a high pressure cooking setting, and it goes up super fast. So it's really good for cooking, quickly cooking like fresh vegetables that you just want crisply cooked. When I do my green beans for Thanksgiving, it's steamed for 0 minutes. Contrast that really fast cooking time to the soup setting, which is a really slow getting up to high pressure setting because they want your broth, your soup broth to be very clear. So very slow cooking time for that. And just the regular pressure cooking is kind of in the middle. That's how it works. All the buttons end up getting too high or too low in a regular pressure cooker. There are settings. I have one over there that has a max pressure setting, but you know, just in the basics, high pressure, low pressure. That's all this will do. So it's on, but it hasn't started. It very slowly started to get hot. It's not hot yet though. So when it beeps to start the cooking time, once releases all the water in there, comes to a boil, creates steam. The steam starts coming out of this little hole. Then eventually the computer program is like, oh, we're at the right steam and temperature. It will stop the steam from coming out. Then the pressure really builds up. And then and only then will that 10-minute cooking time start. So I'm going to go and hang out with a book right now while this cooks. You're going to do nothing because I'm just going to magic of video. I will just turn this into boom, here we are, and it's cooked. So this will cook for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to allow a 10-minute natural pressure release. And what that means is I'm not going to touch it for 10 minutes. And it's just going to naturally cool down a bit. The pressure will drop as it cools down. Since there's only a single cup of water in here, it should go fairly quickly, as in, 10, 15 minutes to fully depressurize to atmospheric pressure. When I really fill up an Instant Pot, it can take a good 45 minutes to come down to atmospheric pressure. But that is a natural pressure release. You just do nothing. Okay. And at the end of 10 minutes of natural pressure releasing after 10 minutes of cooking, then I'll release whatever's left. But for now, we'll leave it, we'll let it do its thing, and I will meet you back here in like 25 minutes probably. Okay. 10 minutes has elapsed after the cooking time finished, so I'm going to go ahead and release the rest of the pressure. And then when the pin drops, it'll be safe to open, and I'll take out the molds. There we go. Get my condensation off. Let's see what we got here. I'll take the top parchment paper off. And we'll let each of these rest for about 5 minutes. Let me show you what they look like coming out. Okay, so I'll take off the parchment paper on the bottom. Yeah, overfilling on these. But when I flip them out, they'll be fine. Okay, these egg bites, Chickpea-Flour egg bites, have had 5 minutes to rest. So I'm just gonna run my little tool that came with this one. My little tool around the edge to loosen them up. And we'll invert onto a plate. Now, this one was on the bottom, and it had a rack right above it, which kind of meant that as the chickpea flour and almond milk batter was expanding, it came and hit the roof of the rack that was above it, which kind of made it not look as pretty as it could. There we go. Aha. One down. Nice. Okay, so stand up straight. There, you got it. Vegan chickpea flour egg bites. I've got some with roasted white and sweet potatoes and some with roasted red pepper and parsley. Either or, tasty one. I'll put this down so you get a picture, and you will see the recipe along with the other recipes in the handout that I've given you or it'll also be on this page. There you go. Yeah. And if I play my cards right, I will now link this video to a previous video on how to make spinach egg bites if you want to do a little green eggs, no ham kind of action for Dr. Seuss's birthday on March 2nd. Up to you. Bye.